17 birds. Hit my line if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. They had me 6 hours, I said 17 words. I'm like Shady in the snow, I spun, I'm so superb. A legend still remains when his flesh is in the earth. And if they raid your tomb, may they fall upon a curse. Yeah, this 9 I keep for backup. With this I wanted chip, we ran plays. They need to build a statue for this shit. Big plays, a sleigh couldn't get you through this shit. More grams than Brandon, fiends rushing for a hit. The priest sitting out a diner while you niggas giving tips. You gon' get a C-section, all that pushing through your lips. I hold the desert straight, a shooter told me do my dips. You're just photogenic, not a boss, I'm convinced. Niggas practicing hard for them obituary pics. Shooters watching the gram for them locations of your pics. Linebacker Brunson, call me if you wanna hit. We world champs now, that just come with this shit. Let's go! You want 17 birds? Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. Hit my line if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy if you want 17 birds. Big ring, I play for the 17 birds.
Turn the beat off, turn the beat off. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you. And I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, you already know how we give it up over here. Big Print Champs in the building. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you tap in, use code BULLY10 at checkout. Get everything you need. Everything you need in terms of staying in tune and staying in step. But you know what we do over here is being content curators. You know what I'm saying? Also tonight, before we get into this, make sure you tap in with the NFCE Super Friends channel. Me, Bad Dog, Law Nation, Louis T. We will be live on our channel talking end of the season with the NFC East. You know what I mean? We're going to just, you know how we do it. You know, be representing the birds in full tilt. But man, let's talk about it. Let me pull it up right here. I got a small little yam saying on the situation. But you know, yeah, man. Listen, man. This comes from Jeremy Fowler, always a great source. Former Commanders head coach Ron Rivera is interviewing with the Eagles for their defensive coordinator position per sources. The last time Ron Rivera was at DC, his 2010 Chargers led the team in total defense. So before anybody gets the notion that they should be judging Ron Rivera, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, D-Lo? Before anybody get the notion that they should be judging Ron Rivera based upon his tenure as head coach as the Washington Commanders, you got to understand this one thing right here. Some guys are better suited. What's going on? Let me say what's up to the people. Oh my, how dare me? What's going on, Darlene? How you doing? Happy Monday to you. My guy D-Lo in the building. Spot City Chop, what up? Jason Williams, what up? Lenny D, what up? Dre D, what up? You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for tapping in. Real spontaneous joint. You know what I'm saying? Danye, what's up with it? What's up? Man of God, always a pleasure to have you in the building. I see my guy Troy Singleton, Michael Bird, was good. Yes, sir. Jericho, what's up? But listen, let's talk about this for a second, though. Some guys are better off being defensive coordinators than they are head coaches. That's just the facts of the matter. That's just the nature of the beast. A lot of these guys get these promotions and then they fall flat. They fall on their face. It's rare cases where some guys are better at being head coaches than they are coordinators. I actually think that, you know, Brian Johnson will fall into that category at some point. I think Brian Johnson will make a good head coach. But as far as a coordinator, you know, it still remains to be seen on what he could bring to the table for any type of franchise, you know what I mean, in that realm of it. But Ron Rivera is battle tested. Ron Rivera is a defensive mind. Ron Rivera is going to get the best out of cornerbacks in most cases, but Ron Rivera really specializes in linebacking play. You know what I'm saying? Linebacking play, in my opinion, is where Ron Rivera made his bones. You really can't judge this season. They gave up all of the good pieces they gave up on the season. But, you know, what's that kid named Holcomb that they had over there in D.C.? He was able to go get a bag with Pittsburgh. I thought that dude was, you know, trending towards being special. You know what I'm saying? Ron Rivera is hands down a better defensive coordinator than he is a head coach. Now, I will add this to it as well. You know, Ron Rivera is a grown-ass man. You know what I mean? Nick Sirianni is not going to be able to tell Ron Rivera what to do, even though I do think that Nick Sirianni is one of those guys who really don't focus on, you know, the defensive side of things too much, which is why he panicked, You know what I mean? And fired Desai, while the season was still in play. At like 10-3, Desai got relinquished from calling the defense. He panicked because he doesn't know what to do with the defense. Ron Rivera is the total opposite. Ron Rivera, I think, is more comfortable or have an easier job coaching. Ron Rivera been coaching like 14 years in the NFL. I think Ron Rivera will have a better time coaching, you know what I'm saying, if he's able to just focus on one side of the ball and not the whole group of guys, if that makes any sense. I like the Ron Rivera idea. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing set in stone on who the next defensive coordinator going to be, but a former head coach that always bodes well for a team who still got some pieces or a team that needs something to be figured out on the defensive side of the ball for sure. Now, we talk about Denard Wilson yesterday. I really like the Denard Wilson idea because what he was able to do with that defensive back room in Baltimore, got them dudes playing at a really elite level. You're seeing elite Kyle Hamilton right before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I do like the Denard Wilson thing, but I think Ron Rivera is a defensive mind. A defensive mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting to see, the developments on the defensive side of the ball in terms or regards of who we're going to even have as the coach. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Then he started, it is what it is. And then another plus of bringing in a Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera has been going against the division for a while. Ron Rivera knows the tendency of a lot of these players. He knows the tendency of a Sam Howell or Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? He even knows the tendency of a Jalen Hurts. So he will probably be able to get the better out of Jalen Hurts in some of these practices, defense going against offense. I'm ecstatic about the possibility of Ron Rivera in Philadelphia. I like it. Man, anybody is better than what we had. Yeah, I agree. I gotta agree with my man D-Lo. You know what I'm saying? Definitely anybody is better than what we had. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk more about this weekend. I'm going to my guy listening party for his new project. I'm gonna be out there in the town chopping it up with my guy. We definitely gonna try to hit the studio as well while we out there. So yeah, man, I agree with that, D-Lo. I agree. You know what I mean? Dewan Banks, thank you for the super chat. But this is one thing I didn't like. My guy High Dime, what up? This is one thing I didn't like though from the whole Ron Rivera saga. I mean, you didn't really see anything out of you. Ron Rivera's first pick, I believe, was Jamin Davis, who's a linebacker. That's a bust for a first round pick. Emmanuel Forbes didn't really look good. You know what I mean? Bad pick again, right as of now. I just didn't like it. I don't really like some of his draft picks per se, but in terms of getting the best out of talent that's already there, I think Ron Rivera can do that. Let's not act like Ron Rivera doesn't have a resume of having some good rosters. Now, Ron Rivera doesn't really go, he doesn't have like the crazy winning seasons and things of that nature. I think out of seven, Ron Rivera might got 3 winning seasons as a head coach, but he also went to the playoffs with like a 7-win team. You know what I mean? Ron Rivera is, is on the cusp of. I can't say Ron Rivera is an elite coach when he was a head coach because he would still be head coaching somewhere. But Ron Rivera is that tier under elite coaches. You know what I mean? I think some deep playoff runs, you know what I mean, is the reason why Ron Rivera won't be labeled as an elite coach, but he definitely coached in the Super Bowl with Cam Newton. So, I mean, you can't take nothing away from Ron Rivera, and that Panthers defense was pretty good. You know what I mean? Luke Kuechly, was one of the best linebackers of our generation for real. And Ron Rivera was able to, squeeze the juice out of that player, pause, and get the best out of him on the field. So, if anybody's upset about Ron Rivera, I think you need to check yourself and look in the mirror and ask yourself, what am I looking for? What am I looking for out of my defensive coordinator? Because if Ron Rivera can't give it to you, then I'm confused out of what you're looking for. And another thing that Philadelphia Eagles fans got to remember is this. Stop saying that we need to go, the Eagles need to go get the Lions offensive coordinator. The Eagles need to go get Green Bay's offensive coordinator to be our offensive coordinator. You got to understand this. Nick Sirianni ain't going nowhere. He got a press conference this week. I don't see the Lions offensive coordinator taking a lateral position to come over to the Philadelphia Eagles. Why would I leave the Lions, who in an NFC championship game, as their offensive coordinator, to come to the Philadelphia Eagles and be their offensive coordinator? The only reason or the only way the Lions offensive coordinator is leaving, unless it's for a head coaching opportunity, a promotion. Let's use our heads, ladies and gentlemen. Let's use our thinking caps. Let's use our thinking caps. You know what I mean? That's like LB saying, well, I don't want to be an Eagles content creator no more. I'm going to go somewhere and be, I'm going to be a Buffalo Bills content creator. You know what I mean? But it does nothing. It really does nothing. I mean, the Bills will probably have the best content creator in Buffalo. It does more for them than it does for me. You know what I mean? So, you know, I am just ecstatic about the Ron Rivera move. You know, you can't sleep on this one. This is one that just makes sense from a standpoint of, you know, getting better, getting guys ready. Have you ever heard Ron Rivera speak? You know what I mean? They play a clip of Ron Rivera speaking versus a clip of Sean Desai speaking. You know what I mean? Play a clip of it. One is definitely a man amongst men, and the other one is a little more timid in the way that he approaches, you know, grown men. You know what I mean? I like the idea of Ben Johnson. You know what I mean? Bobby Slowick, that's a name that's been being thrown around a lot. Jim Bob Cooter, I mean, that one was a head scratcher to me. Chip Kelly was a head scratcher to me. You know, Ron Rivera was outside of the box, and I think that's what we need. I think that's what we need. Yeah, the development of Jeremiah Trotter Jr. with Ron Rivera would be excellent. That's a good point. That's a good point, man. Case in point right there. You know, and when you look at the divisional round of the postseason, you know, linebackers made plays. Linebackers made plays. Baker was picked off by a linebacker. Greenlaw had 2 picks. You know what I'm saying? Greenlaw had 2 picks. I think linebacker, CJ got 1, but the other linebacker got the one that closed the game out. The Baltimore Ravens shut the Texans down with linebacker play. Elite linebacker play. So when you look at Ron Rivera, don't look at the head coach of the Commanders. Look at Ron Rivera's track record as a defensive coordinator. Again, the last time Ron Rivera was a D coordinator was 2010, and the Chargers had the #1 defense in the National Football League in 2010. It was the Chargers. That's just something for you to wrap your head around, man. So, you know, I will say this, man. Some guys are better, I repeat, at being coordinators than head coaches, and I think Ron Rivera fits into that category. I do. But, you know, it's really not about the defense. I think you could find anybody to run a better defense than what Matt Patricia and Sean Desai did. You know, even if it was Wink Martindale. This offseason, to me, is about who is going to fix this offense, because that's where you got the bread invested at. You got AJ 25 mil. Jalen Hurts contract signed for $250 million. Quarter billion, I mean. You know what I'm saying? That's where your money's invested at. Smitty got to be paid soon. You're probably going to lose Swift. Your money is invested on the offensive side of the ball. So what is the organization going to do, or when are they going to address the offensive side of the ball, if we're being honest? Because that's all I'm looking for. That's all I care about. That's all I want to know about. That's all I want to know about. The defense can be easily fixed. But when you brought back Nick Sirianni, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to bring back somebody that's going to have complete control? Because bringing Nick Sirianni back don't do nothing but put him on a skewer. Nick Sirianni could have got a job somewhere if you'd have let him go this season. If Nick Sirianni bomb again this season on the offensive side of the ball, it's going to be hard for people to look at him. It's going to be hard for people to look at him. That's why I wish that the Dallas Cowboys, honestly, would have got rid of Mike McCarthy, because I would have loved to have Mike McCarthy as an offensive coordinator. I would have loved it. I would love to have Mike McCarthy as offensive coordinator. Still think Dean is our guy? I don't know, but the best chance to getting the best out of Nakobe Dean is with Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera will get the best out of Nakobe Dean. Ron Rivera will get the best out of Nolan Smith. Ron Rivera, you know, is tougher on the defensive side of the ball. Jordan Davis will be in better conditioning. For sure, I believe that Ron Rivera will have much more of a positive impact on the players than what the players have been going through the last 2 years. Jonathan Gannon wasn't nowhere near as bad as what we just had last season. And we did not appreciate Jonathan Gannon at all. We didn't appreciate Jonathan Gannon at all. But he was nowhere near as bad as the atrocity that was Matt Patricia going down into the season. I can't even 100% rank Sean Desai, because they never even gave Sean Desai the opportunity to see if he could fix the deficiencies before playoffs. What was the point? When you bench Sean Desai, you already had a playoff berth. You already had a playoff berth when you shelved him. You already had a playoff berth. Matt Patricia came out there and didn't do nothing for his resume. Nothing for his resume. You should have let Sean Desai go down with the ship and fight for his job at least. I think that was whack of the organization. And that falls on Nick Sirianni. I think that was whack of Nick Sirianni. That falls on Nick. That falls on Nick Sirianni, man. That's the bottom line with that, man. So, all in and all out, man, I really feel like, this is a good look for the Philadelphia Eagles, potentially going and getting a guy like Ron Rivera. You know what I mean? And all in all, I also believe that, the Philadelphia Eagles will make some very important moves that'll be, detrimental to the development of some of the younger guys we still got on, rookie deals or whatever. So, you know what I mean? Shout out to y'all 449 people here real quick while we talk about that. Don't miss it. We probably going to talk about this more in depth on the NFC East Super Friends channel. Like I said, if you have not subscribed to that channel, we closing in on 10,000 subs over there. Make sure you go in there and sub up. I'm going to be holding it down for Eagles Nation tonight for sure. And as more Eagles news pop out, you know where to find me at right over here, man. You know the vibes with that, man. I'm going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? I got to get my win right for this stream. Y'all know the vibes with that, man. All week, all content. You know the vibes.
You want 17 birds? Big ring, I play for the 17 birds. In my line, if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy, if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. I know a guy, if you want 17 birds, big ring, I play for the 17 birds. They had me 6 hours, I said 17 words. I'm like Shady in the snow, I spun, I'm so superb. A legend still remains when it's